as I'm driving Uber, one of the things that happens is conversation. So I'm starting a new series, Uber Conversations, with this. The last passenger I just dropped off was a retired Homeland Security Border Patrol agent who has come back as an independent contractor to work for the U.S. government at the southern border and in Washington, D.C. And part of his job entails busing illegal immigrants from the southern border to D.C. in partnership with the Texas Governor Greg Abbott, which I think is awesome because you can ignore the problem from Washington, D.C. if nobody is there. But bigger issue, bigger story at hand. One of the discussion points that he and I talked about, being from New York City, obviously I come from a city where it's legal and illegal immigration is normal. It's an everyday thing. We're not all that concerned for the most part with people being illegal in New York City. And here in Texas, um, a large percentage of the population is illegal or at one point were illegal immigrants. And then, if you know me and my story, I actually married a immigrant who came from South America legally, stayed illegally, and thanks to me and the whole process, went through immigration, became a citizen, etc. Her dad also can thank me. Her brother also can thank me. That's their game plan. They executed it and used me to do it. You live and you learn, and it is what it is. But I'm not all that concerned for the most part with South and Central American immigration to the U.S., even illegal immigration. But what this Homeland Security Border Patrol agent explained to me in having a discussion is right now in 2022, word is out that our southern border is an open border and they're doing catch and release. And he told me here recently, last month, they had a 48-hour period where just in his section, they caught and released 3,000 people crossing the southern border in 48 hours. And I asked him, how is that even possible? Like, like staff wise, human resource wise, how is that even possible? And he said it's possible because we're catching them in Texas, on the Texas side of the border, and we're fingerprinting them and taking a photo of them and processing them. And then we release them, or we take them to the Greyhound station, or we bus them to Washington, D.C., or other areas. But they don't have to go back to Mexico, thanks to the current presidential administration in the White House. Nobody that crosses the border has to go back to Mexico from our southern border. And one of the things that, first of all, that was a surprise to me, but one of the things that he said to me that was a bit alarming, but not a surprise, is that within the last year, or the last fiscal year, I think he said, over 250 people who are on the federal government's terrorist watch list were captured crossing our southern border. Over 250 were caught. And I said, how many do you think were not caught? And he said, our estimate is around 5,000. Terrorist watch list people. So these are people who have been caught in war, opposing the United States. They have been imprisoned at some point. We have fingerprints, we have names, we have passports, we have photos. We know that they are either directly related to or are themselves members of terrorist organizations, funded by terrorist organizations, operating with and working with terrorist organizations. And we caught 250 of them we estimate that about 5,000 of them, just in the last fiscal year, crossed the southern border um, and did not get caught. So I'm not somebody who comes on here and talks politics a lot, but I asked him, I said, in the prior administration, how was it as compared to now? And I asked him because when I was selling cars during the pandemic, I had at least three customers who were Texas and New Mexico and Arizona border patrolmen, Homeland Security or Border Patrol. And all of them said the same thing. All of them said the number of people that we would catch crossing the borders illegally on the southern border during the previous presidential administration, the Trump administration's presidency, was about a fifth of the number of people that are coming over now or that we've been catching now. And we're seeing an increasing number of people from Eastern Europe, from the Western bloc of Asia, and from other countries outside of Central and South America coming over in our southern border. So crazy, absolutely crazy to think that people think that's a good idea, that an open border is a good idea when you have an estimated 5,000 terrorists, enemies of the United States, crossing the border into our country with no problem. So, I don't know. Interesting Uber conversation, right? Put your comments below. Tell me what you think. Again, this was a Homeland Security Border Patrol officer working directly in Texas with Governor Abbott, who gave me these numbers. 250 captured last year, over 5,000 estimated not captured who are on terrorist watch lists. That's crazy. So it's not surprising to me, but it is alarming, the number of people who are coming into our country right now who have bad intentions. And again, I told him, like, I'm not so much worried about Central or South Americans coming into our country illegally. That doesn't bother me. Again, coming from New York, I'm used to being around people who are here illegally. What bothers me about it is those who are coming into the country with bad intentions and a desire to hurt Americans. And according to him, that number from the last year is estimated to be around 5,000 on the terrorist watch list. That's crazy. That's a significant number of people. So history repeats itself. I had a history professor once who told me, a lot of people study history. Very few people learn from it. And the United States is no different. It's crazy. Y'all have a great day. This is Uber Conversations, part 2 of the day. And I'll see you again soon.